For your first composition, you are going to be creating a 4-chord progression. A chord is multiple notes played at the same time, and a progression is an order of chords. You're going to write your own progression, which also means it probably should be easier to play. And maybe that's a good way to come at it, is playing a chord and seeing which chords feel good after that. How does it feel good to transition to those other chords? With all that being said, let's check out the steps and get started. Step number 1 is to decide on progression. All you've got to do is come up with the 4 chords that you're going to use. Write the chords one at a time over the measures. In most cases, you're going to have 1 chord per measure. You're going to write the first chord right here. You'll write the second chord at the beginning of the second measure, third chord above the beginning of the third measure, fourth chord at the beginning of the fourth measure. Once you've decided that, you'll probably want to play them so you can hear how they sound and get the feel of the transitions between them, because you will be playing this. And then you're done with step number 1. For step number 2, you're going to come up with a simple quarter and eighth note rhythm to play with your progression. So you're going to use the exact same progression. First chord, second chord, third chord, fourth chord. I'm going to do a really simple progression, G, A minor, C, D7. And it's going to loop really nicely. I'm going to have my rhythm be all the same for all 4 measures. So, if I had 4 quarter notes, it'd be 4 downs. And when I want to put in eighth notes, I'm just going to activate that up like I talked about in the video. I'm going to use this online software, Noteflight, which we're going to get used to later, to show you what I mean. So if I just had 4 quarter notes, I can put them in there like that, and I would write my chord at the top of the first one. Now, when I made some eighth notes, beat 2 and beat 3 became eighth notes. So that's what I'm going to do, is turn them into eighth notes. To get there, I knew when I strummed down, which is just a quarter note, and when I strummed down up, which is those eighth notes. Now, the rest of this, if I'm using this notation software, it's really easy to repeat the rhythm. But if you're not using that, you can use the measure repeat sign, which looks like this, kind of like a percent symbol. But the thing you're going to want to do is still put in your chord symbol above that. And I'm done with this. This is all I need to write. I've got my rhythm, and it shows that it changes chords. I'm going to make sure that I can play it, though. And I would probably play that 4 times just to make sure I can really groove with it. For step number 3, I'm going to choose a syncopated rhythm. Now remember what syncopation means. That is when you've got a strong sound on a weak beat area. On guitar specifically, it means that we're going to skip a down and just do an up instead. So we would put the down where it belongs, but we would miss the strings and then hit the up on the way back up. It may be as simple as tying 2 eighth notes together, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. You could do a 2-measure rhythm. You could have a 4-measure rhythm if you want, but you're going to write it here on the staff. If I go back to my original rhythms, I can create syncopation just by adding a tie on the and of a beat to the number of a beat. Now, my strum pattern here would be down, down, up, down. Here's how it sounds. Beautiful. Remember, you have to skip the down. You cannot wait. You have to skip the down. If you follow these steps, you're going to have a great composition in no time. Don't use my same rhythms and chord progression, though, because you are a creative person who can come up with your own.